Hello, everybody. Let's see if this works. Oh my God, it works. Okay. A lot of glare. Let me fix that. Okay. Nope. Now I'm just straight up. Now I'm in straight up darkness. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
After I showed you my kitchen, I'm here now.
Let me try to fix this glare. Can I move the camera and it work? And it work for me? Maybe. Maybe. Yes. No.
I
A little bit. I'm going to try to my computer sleep, see if that helps. No, it just causes more glare. This is probably from the outside world. How you doing, Desi?
Hi.
Can I do this? Maybe, yes, no. Trying to work out this glare issue. Okay. This will have to do. How is everyone doing? How are you, Desi? How are you, Anthony?
I'm great and excited.
I am so excited to celebrate you both today. Like, this is like so exciting. Okay, so are we all ready to begin?
I am.
You are. Fantastic. Okay, let's do this. Hello, welcome to our 15th episode of Pass the Baton, a series of Instagram live interviews where contributors of our Word Improv Challenge interview one another so that our community and audience learns about our writers and their work. Thank you all for tuning in today. So excited to have everyone here. We are hosted by Word Sleuth, a writing community united by our writing and a common challenge, Word Improv, where we are invited to create a poem or prose story based on 6 selected vocab words. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend it. It is so fun. Right? Yeah, girl. For those who don't know me, my name is Concetta. I was actually interviewed last week by Alexandra at the Acceptance Journey, and she did a phenomenal job. Like, it was such a fun interview. And I'm hoping to create the same vibes today. But for those who don't know me, I am the author of Secrets of the City of Gold, a retelling of the 2000 DreamWorks movie, The Road to El Dorado. And I am also the owner of Writer Second Sight. It's a coaching and branding business. I am here to help authors achieve their goals of doing their manuscript. And, so it's at any stage. If you're looking to start, I am here for you. If you have finished and need improvements, I am here for you. So let's dig in. Now this week, we are in for an exciting treat. I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Desi Miko and celebrating her and her debut novel, Alice on a Friday Night. With me today is alternate author Anthony Curtis, Pass the Baton's first interviewee. Anthony, welcome back with us.
Thank you. I can't believe it's the 15th already.
Right?
Hi, Anthony.
It's, you know what? It was, I'm like, really? Have there been like 13 others before me? Because I was the 14th. And I said, have there really been 13? I'm like, that is amazing. But oh my God, for you to have been the first to now be here, I mean, that's wow, right? I want everyone to give themselves a round of applause. Right? Proud of everybody, yes. So please stay tuned, because after the interview with Desi today, we're going to be chatting for a little bit with Anthony and see what he's been up to lately. Okay, so Desi, would you like me to read your profile for you?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I prefer you to read it than me.
Listen, I got you. Okay, we got this. Desi Nico is an Eastern European award-winning novelist and filmmaker. Born in 1986 in Bulgaria, she grew up in a highly problematic post-socialism society to become a cosmopolitan, I'm so sorry, rebel girl in the end. I love that. I love that. I was reading that. I was like, I love that. Desi is interested in psychological fiction, dark humor, satire, all art quirky, urban, and audacious. She won her BA with a graffiti NPR thesis and her MA with a short film about school bullying that raised quite a controversy in Bulgaria. Desi knew she was to become a writer as soon as she learned how to write. Meanwhile, she worked as a lifeguard, an English teacher, a lifestyle magazine editor, and a waitress. In this order. She is positive that these occupations were a good psychological training for her craft. And it's so true. Always based on her own experience and encounters, Desi Nico's semi-memoir narrative is so honest that readers of her debut novel, Alice on a Friday Night, are known to have Googled the author to check if she was doing okay. She certainly is. Are you okay?
Yeah. Do I look not?
Desi Nico is currently translating the works of other Bulgarian writers in her debut novel, Alice on a Friday Night, which is scheduled to be released on Amazon in the coming months. So definitely keep an eye out for it. I know I will. So now that you've heard from me, let's turn things over to Desi. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. And this is actually my first interview in English. So I'm a little nervous and very excited.
Listen, we're going to have fun. Don't even worry about it. We're going to have a lot of fun,
yeah.
okay?
Sure about it.
We're going to, oh my God. You got to tell me though, if we're not having fun, all right? Because then I got to flip some stuff around.
I don't think this will be an issue.
Listen, that makes me feel good. So, thank you. So, Desi, I would love to hear, and I'm sure everyone else would love to hear your prose story or your poem that you had submitted to the improv challenge.
Yeah, I read it for you.
Please.
First, I want to say that I really love these word improv challenges because I get to know new words in English. I even check their pronunciation. And it feels so exciting to try to find their natural place in a text when you're not used to them. I really love this. Okay, so here I go with mine. Some years ago, he used to offer himself to me, devoted, obsequious. He'd follow me all the way to my matchbox apartment on the very top floor. His whispers would invade my thoughts under the shower, unwanted mind intruders like love, hypochondria, or kleptomania. I'd shoo him away every time, quixotic enough to believe that he'd be there for me later in life. I was preoccupied with other worries back then. I had an empty gun, an empty wallet, an empty womb. I was craving to load at least 2 of these. Then a husband and a child gave me the new sensation of apparent contentment. That charlatan, I went as far as planting a flower in the yellow pot on our balcony. Being content lasted for only a couple of months, and then the lancinating feeling appeared. It's never mentioned in talks about optimism, you know, the feeling when you realize that a few dreams coming true won't make you eternally happy. I remembered that the flower planting lady was not who I wanted to be. I wanted to be a writer, but did I write? No, I chose not to be interested in my inspiration when he was there for me. And now that I needed him badly, I was not the autocrat of our relationship anymore. Perhaps I didn't look so sexy in my knotted hair and breast milk stained shirt. So this was it. Excuse my pronunciation.
I think you did beautifully. Nothing to apologize on. You did phenomenal.
You.
That story was beautiful. So tell me, how did you feel, when you write, how do you feel when you're in your writing zone?
My thing is writing is that I only enjoy writing things I have actually experienced. I mean, sometimes I do real fiction, I imagine things, worlds, characters, and everything, but I don't really show these works to people because I feel so much more confident in writings about true feelings that I have experienced, true situation that I have been there, I have been able to touch the material, to see the color of things, to feel what it really feels like. I feel confident that I'm giving the reader something which I saw, which I went head first into. So when I get my inspiration for my writing, it's usually in the middle of unusual, most of the time not really pleasant situations. And then when I get to a period in my life where I'm not that excited, I just get down to writing it.
You know what? And I agree with you on that, because writing is such a personal experience. It's such a personal thing. And you definitely have to be comfortable and confident, with what you're sharing. So I 100% agree with you. And I definitely commend you for it. So to share your words with us today in that short story, well, I must thank you, because that was absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. And actually, I think that writing is my kind of my therapy. Like I'm not shy. I don't feel uncomfortable about sharing everything about me when I write. I don't like to talk about this that much, but when I write, I don't care that people are going to read it or anything.
Mhm.
And for me, I think that authors are blessed, writers are blessed, because even in the worst times of their lives, they know that there is at little this good thing that they will get their experience and their
Mhm.
inspiration from this, and they can create something beautiful out of it.
Mhm. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. So I must ask then, when you were saying for authors and all that, you want to talk a little bit about maybe Alice on a Friday night? Like, you want to talk? Hmm?
Alice on a Friday Night is my debut novel. It was published in Bulgaria like 5 years ago, and now I got to the point where I'll publish it in English too. It's about Alice, who is going through her crisis of being 24. That's what she calls it. It's like I think it's called the quarter life crisis or something
Mm-hmm.
officially.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is about searching for one's path in life in our modern society. It's very complicated because we have so much choice and we struggle with this, with the choices we have to make.
Mm-hmm.
So Alice is going through this period of struggling, which I think every person is going through at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is mostly about addictions,
Okay.
different types of addictions.
Okay. And I love how you wrote about something relatable, because I feel as much as we love fantasy and we love, to lose ourselves in a good romance, there's nothing like a good relatable book to sink your teeth into, to become something of a comfort novel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I definitely kudos to you. Definitely kudos to you on that. I mean, you feel it's relatable? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the type of literature I enjoy reading the most. That's why I write this, because for me, literature is something where I want to find myself. I want to find other points of views other than mine, or I want to see my own point of view too. So I will, to rest assured, I'm staying. There are other people who think the same too. And this is the type of literature I enjoy the most. Sometimes for a comfort read, I could enjoy a romance or something, but psychological fiction, contemporary fiction, these are my favorite styles. They're not really genres, but okay, maybe genres.
No, I think that is phenomenal, and I love how you create this insight, for the reader to learn about you as well. Not just your writing style, but to learn a little bit about you as Desi. So, and I definitely think we need more of that. More authors kind of being raw and real and realistic, in that aspect. So, no, I am blown away. That's simply phenomenal.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So I am very curious. Like, tell me about, if you feel comfortable, if you want to talk about maybe a little bit about your writing process.
Uh, when I wrote my first book, Alice on a Friday Night, it was
Mhm.
easy. It just came to me and I started writing. I wrote maybe like half of the book in 2 weeks or something. Then I had this very long period of many things going on in my personal life, and I didn't write then. Then I
Mhm.
had my daughter, and while she was a baby, when I was staying home, I just finished the novel. And there was this, I think many authors have this moment when there is this moment of the story which just doesn't go well. You need something to make things work, but it
Mhm.
doesn't come to you. So I was struggling with the finale, with the ending for a lot of time. And then one time I was just having a shower and it just came to me. And it was completely different from everything else I'd
Mhm.
thought before that. It just came to me and I wrote it down. So that was the moment when I started being more relaxed about the writing process. Because before that, I was so frustrated, so scared every time I didn't have inspiration. I felt like I'll never get it again. I'll never be able to write
Mhm.
nicely again. When this thing with this shower and this ending happened, now I know that even if today nothing goes right with writing, even if it goes on for a month or for 2 months, I know that there will come the moment when I'll get the right idea. And I think every writer should be relaxed with this thought. If you can write it in you, it will always show up sooner or later again.
I love that, and I love that you took the time, to do what you needed to do, and I love how it just came to you, and that's when ideas will come to you. Is like, number one, when you least expect it. Like, your books take a different turn, and it's completely different than what you had, originally. And I love how it just creates this new authentic experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for it to come to you in the shower sounds about right.
Yeah, but there's something more to me to it. When I'm more mature now, and I know that it's not only the bursts of inspiration. Like every successful writer in history has said that you just need to show up and do your job with or without inspiration. Even if you write 10 words today, you need to show up in the morning
Mhm.
and be there for the work or for the creative genius to come to you. Because if you're not waiting for the creative genius, it can find you.
You can't escape from the creative genius. That I will tell you. It's gonna get you at some point. But just remember to be kind to yourself along the journey as well. You know what I mean? Because when we try, yeah, and I agree with the whole showing up and writing, even if it's 10 words, even if it's a sentence. But still, try, I try to say, like try not to force it, because I would hate for another writer to feel frustrated and kicking themselves, like, oh, I hate what I wrote. So, like,
Yeah, it
that
shows.
natural.
It
Hmm?
shows.
What?
Mhm. It shows if you force something. People
Exactly.
can tell. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Exactly.
what I do is I do what I can when I don't feel really as inspired, and then when I have this good period, things just go to their places.
Since you started writing when you were young, from your younger self now to your present self, you know, is there anything that you would tell your younger self? You know, any advice that you would give your younger self then?
So many, and I'm, I'm absolutely sure that you know as a writer that when you read something you created even only half a year ago, there are some things that sound so naive now.
Yeah.
So right now I'm translating Alice on a Friday night, and there are some many pages which I actually hate. I'm like, how could I do this? But, but I know that I had this period. I was the person who behaved like this and who had these thoughts, and that there are other people right now who are going through the same thing, and maybe they need this. So I just try to leave it there without editing.
I love how you're like, nope, you know what? I'm gonna own it. I love how you're owning it right now, you know? So I'm with you. I'm definitely with you.
Yeah.
Um, so now you're in the midst of translating Alice on a Friday night. Like, how do you feel about like going through that experience?
Yeah, as I said, painful.
Okay.
I want to edit so many things, and when the book was published in Bulgarian, I just promised myself to not read it anymore because I always want to edit something when I read.
Yep.
And I actually didn't read it for these 5 years, but now I have to pretty carefully because of translating. And
Mhm.
yeah,
I feel that. And I feel, you know, I'm proud. First off, I am proud of you. I am proud of you for not feeding into that temptation to edit as you're writing, because then you lose yourself. You lose yourself completely. And it's like going into a labyrinth.
yeah, yeah.
Once you're in, you're not coming back out.
Yes, but translating is a very interesting process, especially when you translate your own book, because in one language, but because the translator is something like a co-author maybe, or I think pretty much so, and
Yeah.
that I have created this thing in one language and it's so stuck in my head the way it's already
Yeah.
written that when I try to translate it in English, at first I'm translating literally, which is not okay.
Hmm.
And I feel like rewriting some things just because I would write them in another way in English with other expressions and stuff, and it's very interesting. It's a very challenging but
Hmm.
really interesting experience.
I love that for you. I love how it may be painful, but I love how you're enjoying the process as well, because I think that's one of the most important things in any stage of the writing process for that matter. You have to love what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. That's the point of being a writer.
Hmm.
Like,
I I could not agree more. But that does lead into my next question of do you do you have any idea of like any future projects that you're working on, or anything, any ideas brewing for anything coming in the future, or is Alice on a Friday night like the main focal point?
right now, the translation is the main focus because I have deadlines and it has to be ready. And there is an editor going, a native English editor after me for the wording and stuff.
Mhm.
But I've actually started a new novel already, and I think it will be ready in a couple of months because it's at a good stage. The whole story is there, the whole storyline is there, the characters are there, some parts are written. I just have to write the rest. It's called Film Coated Pills, or at least for now. I'll see if the title will stay the same. And I graduated soon, recently in film directing.
Okay.
So I hope that soon I will be able to somehow do my first feature film. And I hope it will be based on Alice on a Friday Night. But yeah, filmmaking is a whole different story. It's related to a lot of money. So nothing is sure yet.
Well, first off, congratulations on graduating. That's so exciting to hear, and I'm so grateful that you shared that with us. So, oh my God, congratulations. That's a big, I mean, you've accomplished so much already based on your biography alone, but
Yeah,
now
but
to
I'm
add this.
not that young. It's normal to graduate.
Hmm?
I mean, I'm 37. It's normal to be graduated.
Listen, there is, you graduate when you're ready to graduate. You know what I mean? There is never a cap on an age, and there's
I
absolutely
took
no,
my time.
I'm sorry?
I took my time, actually.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, it was a process for me too to graduate. So you're not alone on that. You know, I went to school later myself, so I can relate to you on that aspect. So nope, get it, you got it.
Yeah,
But
I think it's better to do things when you're ready and when you can really do them fine and do them the best way you can, other than try to do it quickly and not
yes,
really.
you learn to appreciate it more when you're older and you have a better understanding of what it is that you want to do. You definitely learn to appreciate it more, and I think you understand like we understand the value of what it is that we're doing.
Yeah,
So I'm all for that, but
absolutely true.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for agreeing. But I must ask now, between the novel writing process and the screenwriting process, how do you feel balancing the two out?
If it was only the two of them, I would feel perfect.
Sorry, yeah. Uh-huh.
But besides these two processes, I have to earn my living somehow.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I do the translations, and balancing between the three of them is a little tricky because when I translate for other people and I translate documents also and so on, and I feel kind of tired after that. But I'm doing good for now.
So long as you're okay, you know, that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
And
It,
as you already said, the important thing is that I really love and enjoy each of
mhm.
these things. I don't feel like I'm working. I just
Good.
feel like I have too many hobbies. Maybe that's the way I can best describe it.
Never too many. Never too
Yeah,
many.
but too little time, never too many hobbies.
That I can agree with. There's too little time, but you know what? You're managing it, you're doing it, and I am so proud of you. I am
Thank you.
so proud of you in all of this. Um, so do you have any final remarks for myself, the Wordsmith community, those of us here in the chat today? Any final remarks?
No, I really think we took our time, and I think we can ask Anthony very interesting questions too. So maybe let's move on to him now.
Of course, Desi. Thank you so much for your time. I love chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Word Sleuth, and for you for the. It was a pleasant interview, and you made me feel so comfortable because I was really a little stressed out in the beginning.
I told you we got this. But thank you.
Yeah.
That really does mean a lot to me, Desi. Thank you so much. And we're so happy to have you here. Seriously, I love this community for what it stands for. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for being a part of it. Thank you, Desi. Okay, guys, we have reached the portion of our episode today for the surprise joining of author Anthony Curtis, author of The Black Path. Everyone, let's welcome Anthony.
Hey, everyone.
How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm here with you guys, enjoying a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon. I couldn't ask for anything more. Okay, so Anthony, would you like me to read your bio for you?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Anthony Curtis has been many things in life, including a Royal Marine, a behavior specialist, a managing director, an assistant principal, a photographer, a hypnotherapist, and more. Each area he moves into is influenced by the ones that came before it. He has written nonfiction books based on research and work carried out in schools and has extensive experience with children and behavior. That's incredible. His debut fiction, The Black Path, is based on real memories from childhood and a desire to show how the events of childhood shape and restrict the choices we make as adults. It's released on July 8th, and you can find out more and read the first chapter at www.anthony-curtis.com. He is a former Taekwondo champion and coach of the British team and a gold and silver medalist for Team GB in the pentathlon series of Laser Run. He has been featured in many books and publications and has also won the Prince's Trust Inspiring Leaders Award for his work. Welcome back, Anthony.
Wow, thanks. That was a lot to read.
I like to read. So
Yes, good. I can't believe this is the 15th interview already. It seemed like only yesterday I was here for the first time.
I was just going to say that. It's remarkable how, you were the first interviewee, from starting from then till now. So, wow, I have to ask, what have you been up to? Like, congratulations. First off, the bio said that it was released in July, that The Black Path was released in July. Congratulations on its release. How's that doing?
Thanks. Yeah, that's doing really good. Yes, it was an interesting journey to get it there, but it's kind of unplugged the cork of inspiration. And so my second book I wrote and came out Saturday, just gone. So second book out this year.
Oh my God! Congratulations!
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, where can we all find that? Where can we all find that?
You can find that on Amazon. It's called Souk Daddy. And
Okay.
It's actually it came from a dream. I was just releasing The Black Path, and I had this dream one night, and it was a fully formed story, characters, plot, twists, even the name of the book. It was kind of unbelievable. So I had no choice but to write it, really.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yes, and it's kind of fortuitous that it's kind of this interview I'm on, because there's a character in that book, in Souk Daddy, and it's actually my favorite character, and
Yeah.
her name is Desi.
Really?
Yeah.
This was meant to be. I love it. This was meant to be.
Can you tell us a little more about the book?
Mhm.
What is it about?
So the book, yeah, it's set a few years in the future from now, just 15 years ahead of us, and it's set in America, where the prison system has gone automatic because of the prison death rate. All the prisoner systems have gone automatic. So there's no guards or anything. Every prisoner is in his own cell, and so the story reflects around 5 children. So they're in juvenile prison. So you get to learn these 5 children, what they did to become in prison, and the families around them. And so you kind of meet them when they're just about to turn 18, and they're just about to be transferred up into the adult facility. And the adult facility is awful. Absolutely, kind of threat of mental health and suicide risks and everything. And one of the parents decides, actually, I'm going to try and do something about it. So I'm going to try and break him out. But so he has to try and do it and convince 4 other parents that boys are being transported at the same time to join him in trying to break out their children from this impenetrable prison.
Oh, it really sounds
Wow.
like something I would love to read.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, and Desi is one of the parents of one of the boys, and she is by far, in a way, the most interesting and my favorite character.
I'm absolutely reading this book.
I love it. I love it. I would definitely read it. I would definitely read both your books. Like, again, I love how relatable they are. And I love what you guys stand for.
And you'll get a lot of prism because I have the prism too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good. Well, you can tell me all about it.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes, but like, I kind of looking at your work, Desi. I loved the word sleuth work you did there, and it kind of I looked onto your website and kind of looked at some of the information you had, and managed to find some of the quotes or the inserts in your book, Alice on a Friday Night, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautifully written, and I love the kind of similes and metaphors you use. It just kind of really brings the writing to life. So I love it. I can't wait to get a copy of it in English.
Thank you.
Oh, my heart. I love this so much. Anthony, I am very curious about what your writing process looks like. Like, I know you said like this came to you full-fledged in a dream. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So my process is probably not that different from most people's, but it took a long time to find. So I started writing The Black Path, my first book, probably 6 years ago, and wrote a few chapters and had a few notes, and basically just thought, okay, I needed to plan out my story in detail. You know, this is what happens in this chapter, and this is how it all flows together. And so I did that, and then once I had it down, I sat down to write the book, and I just couldn't. No words would come out; it just wouldn't flow, and I couldn't find a way to start. And so I'd try every year. I'd try and sit down. Okay, let's write it this year, and nothing would come. And I tried that for 6 years, and it wasn't until I saw an interview with Stephen King, and he was talking about his writing process, where he has a basic idea about what the story is, but he gets the characters together and puts them in a situation, and basically just follows. He writes down what they say, and he follows where they go. So I thought, well, let's try it. I got nothing to lose. So literally sat down with the characters and started writing, and then 3 months later, I had finished. It was kind of incredible, just finding that just by allowing the characters to do what they want to do, to say what they want to say, to move where they want to move, that the story just flowed much more easier. And in fact, most of my plans went out the window, because once the characters started to be developed, they didn't want to do the things I wanted them to do. So halfway through, they were supposed to break in somewhere and steal something, and they got there, and it's like, well no, they're not going. They can't do that. So they didn't, and so the second half of the book was completely unknown, and I was figuring it out and learning about it as I went. So I was typing, oh my God, he said what? He did what? And I'm typing it at the same time, and that's kind of how I kind of learned to write the first book. And the second book is exactly the same. It was I had a really good idea about the story and the characters, and then just sat down and just said, okay, right, then you tell me what you're doing, and I'll just write, and that's what I did.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I love how characters have this tendency to just kind of take over. Like they write themselves, and it's believe it or not, it's amazing to watch. What am I saying? Believe it or not, you believe it. Like it's absolutely amazing to just watch them transform before your eyes as you're typing them. But I have to ask, Anthony, now that you have 2 books out, would you like to read an excerpt from either one of them? Because I think
Yes.
we're all very interested in hearing what
Yeah.
what you got going on.
I was going to read the first part of the first chapter.
Okay.
But I decided not to. I decided to read the first time we meet Desi.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the first paragraph of chapter 8 when we meet Desi. So Desi's the mum of a boy called Donny, and he's just been arrested. So we kind of find out what happened to him, and now this is the start of where she finds out what's happened to him. Okay. Desi sat at her desk in the back of her bar. She had bought and renamed Desi's Hideout Saloon only 6 months ago, but had already settled into the place. It had made good economic sense for several reasons. Firstly, it was a place that had a heavy turnover of clientele, which meant that laundering any funds that came from any other sources was easy enough. Then there was the crackdown of selling of drugs in all establishments that served alcohol. This, then, provided her with a space that controlled and managed, so she could have no worry about her dealers getting caught. And finally, she had a sentimental attachment to the place. This was the bar in which her father had been stabbed to death when she was just a child, over an affair with a gang leader's daughter. He was never that bright and could rot in hell for all she cared. The first night she had taken over the place, she stood in the spot where it happened and poured a whole bottle of Jack Daniels on the floor just to piss him off, and if he was ever looking down. So that's the first time we come across Desi. She's a hard nose. She doesn't take any messing.
And
I was going to say, she sounds like a powerhouse. I need to read this book.
Oh, she is, and the things that she is just kind of no nonsense.
Well, guys, I have to thank you both for giving us a snippet into your work. Like, I feel like I've learned so much more about you both just based on your excerpts, that you shared. So, wow, I'm in awe right now.
Well,
but now that we've, oh my God, yes. But now that we've had this snippet into Desi, and I don't mean to bum rush it, but now that you have this new book out, what's next? Like now we gotta know. Like, what's next?
So yeah, I'm writing the next book already. Probably about 30,000 words in. And again, in this one's slightly different in the fact that I don't really know where the story's going. So I've decided to not have an idea of an ending, or not have an idea of anything.
Okay.
Just put this character in the situation, and I'm just following them, and it's turning out to be really, really interesting. Where he's going, what he's doing, what's actually happening in the world he lives in, and he's a much stronger, much stronger character in the fact that because I'm giving him free rein to do and move around what he wants, that he very much controls what I write. So so at the end of chapter 4, for example, he's in a corridor, and I want him to go through a door to kind of explore what's behind it.
Okay.
And he wouldn't. I spent a week trying to figure out a way of writing him going through that door, and he just was stubborn, and he wouldn't. So I couldn't do it. So he had to back away from the door and go somewhere else. And so that type of kind of allowing your characters to have that much control is interesting, and it's a fascinating process with this next book.
Mm-hmm. Lesson be known. We cannot put our characters in a box. They will rebel, and they will wind up doing their own thing anyway. Let this be a lesson. You know what? I am so excited for you both, because I mean, it sounds like you're making headway in like the best ways imaginable, and it is such a blessing to be a part of the process. So thank you guys for sharing this with me today. Now,
Cool, and thank you as well for being here and interviewing us.
Oh my God.
You're a great leader of the interview.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. My heart. That means so much to me. Thank you. So Anthony, I must ask, do you have any final words, anything that you would like to say to everybody out there? Because I mean, from my perspective, I mean, as from a coach's standpoint anyway, I can only hope that you both are being kind to yourself in this writing process, because your wellness on top of getting the thing, on top of meeting your goal, like taking care of yourself and your well-being is so important. So I hope you guys are being kind to yourselves.
Yes, definitely. Yes,
Good.
yeah. You've got to
Good.
give yourself a break sometimes. Yeah.
Listen, breaks are so necessary. And I mean, even if that means like taking a step away from the process for a little while and then coming back to it later on with a fresher perspective, because seriously, if you stare at that screen for too long, you're gonna go nuts. It's just, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, you've got to get out and live life. That's where kind of your inspiration comes from, is your experiences.
Yeah.
Like Desi said, you write from experience. And so if you're sat in watching a computer screen all day, then you're not getting those experiences. So you've got to be balanced.
I love this. But yes, Anthony, any parting words for our wonderful audience today?
No, just keep reading, keep writing, do the word sleuth challenges. They're a great way of using those words, and yeah, keep watching.
Beautiful. I love it. Desi, I must ask, and I am so sorry for not asking earlier, when your book is released, do you have any idea of where you might be releasing this, or anywhere where possibly anybody could be reading an excerpt of your work right now?
I'm an indie author. I didn't say that. In Bulgaria and now in English too.
Okay.
I'm going to put it on Amazon first,
Okay.
and so it will be on Amazon maybe in 3 months or in 2 months, 3 months top, and then I'll send it to publishing houses, and we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Okay, well, I am so excited to hear any updates regarding both your projects for the upcoming future. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today, both Desi and Anthony and everyone in the chat today. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I certainly loved it. It was a very enriching experience to learn more about these two authors. And thank you so much for being part of the writing community. I mean, there's really nothing like it out there than being part of this and sharing among one another. Everyone also be sure to keep in touch with regarding any future word sleuth word improvs. They are so much fun, and you're gonna get just so much out of it. Like when you sit down and learn the vocab words, like you really gain something out of it, along with tapping into your creativity. Maybe you're gonna go through uncharted territory that you've never been in before. So definitely try it. It's worth a shot. But guys, thank you so much for being part of it. And please, happy holidays if I don't talk to either one of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Happy holidays to everyone too.
Thank you, guys.